welcome to Cottage Street in Norwood for the C4 versus 5 matchup. We've got Bryan Surprise, who had the top wild card record. He's number 5. Had a record this season, 163 and 89 with a 108 average. And our host is Dave Peterson. There you see. Bryan is going to be bowling first on lane 3. Peterson won his division and took the 4 seed by virtue of his 131 and 121 record this season. He carried an average of 100, but remember, he's bowling out of Norwood. Dave carries an average of 105, 106 in Millis, to give you a comparison.
And we're going to see what we can do here. I've got some new tech elements. I'm going to try them out. We'll see if they blow up in my face, but hopefully they'll let us play nice and give you a good show here.
That's right. This is ACST quarterfinal playoffs. Micah, Imparato. Coming in, surprises on the 2-pin. Leaves a 2 and 3. 9 pins sleeping in the back.
Just off his mark, going to pick away the 3. So looking at the 1, 4, 7, 9 to clean up for a 10. And we're going to be open, starting out with a tough 6 box.
Surprise. 37-mile-an-hour pitches out of his hand. Probably about 34 at the head pin, if you're used to those measures. Second time here in Norwood. I believe his only other match was earlier this season against Dave.
Oh, he's going to end up in the same spot again, this time punching out the half Worcester on the left along with the 5 and the 10. So what do you call this, the lambda on the right and the 4-7?
The Dave Chestercove made a claim for it. Oh, pretty.
Hell of a ride, but no love on the 7. See if you can pick up the his cross corner here. And right on it. There we go. First perfect box of the match for him.
First 2 objects.
Absolutely. As you can see at the bottom in the middle of the stream there, I've got a couple of words surrounding my little magic box. We're in the first string. I'm going to have points probably showing up there. I should have thought about that. It doesn't matter in this match. This match is actually only about total pinfalls, as Bryan's a little off to the right there, leaving the 1, 2, 4. But what we do is we track at all times the match is, I guess, what really matters. If it's red, that's Bryan in the lead. If it's blue, it's Drew. And that pin is going to go about 20 degrees, but not enough. Oh, rough break there.
Ouch. Yeah, it leaned against its the wood and stabilized somehow.
Yep. Absolutely, but picks up the 10. So 26 through 3. Got a pair to go here before he sits. The fastest resets out here.
That's right. There are supposedly one more lane like this out there in Maine.
Oh, really?
Old Time, I believe it was.
Oh, finally finds the pocket. He went on the Brooklyn side, and the ball just kind of ran away on him, leaving the 5-9.
Lanes and Games had these, I believe, on one of their floors.
I think so.
In East Boston.
I came back to bowling a couple of years ago, and actually this was the first alley that I showed up at. I remember resetting it, thinking I'd have some time, and they were already there. I'm like, whoa. Not used to that. All right, Bryan just needing 1 ball down the heart here.
So if you've been following it, the C playoffs are well underway so far. A couple upsets, but last night the biggest upset didn't happen.
Yeah.
Our commissioner, Danny Finn, number 8, went in against Peter Janton, who won the division.
Basically, right? He had he was best overall, I think. Or
yeah,
he
had the top average, 111,
yeah.
and just really, there's talk of him actually having an average that moves up to A's next year.
Depending on how it is, yeah.
Surprise off the head pin again. He had one head pin in this set, right?
Yep. This isn't exactly a Greek church. I don't know what we call this one. Maybe a Roman, because it's a little more forward. Oh, and he gets the head pin in between the 6 and the 10, but not enough love to kick either one of them. So we'll have a dry half here. See if you can pick these up to keep the streak of 10s alive. Oh, and the sidewall says no. So as we have Peterson coming up for his start of the match, I'll see if this score sheet works. Let's see if this does it. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Yep, there we go. Kind of looks nice. I think I can get used to that. So Peterson coming up, trying to catch up to the 55 half. But again, because of the way that the playoffs work here, none of that actually matters. It really is only ultimately about total pinfall.
That match last night at spare time came down to the last pitch. Janton was the home bowler and had to get a 9 to win. 8 would have brought it into overtime. By the way, if there is a tie after 5 strings in total pins, there will be a 6th string.
A whole 6 string. Huh?
Yep. And facing that, he whiffed right.
Yep.
Left the 1, 2, 4. Somehow whiffed again way left. Hit the 7. It was 1, 2, 7. Hit the 7 off with Wood, and then with one ball, final ball of the match.
Just blew it up.
He hit the 2-pin. He did just well enough to send Danny home. And the thrill. There, you know, this is ACSTC. It's a travel league. If you've ever been in a championship softball match or
all the pressure.
These guys have been talking about it all week. I know Dave. I've been in the league with him. Met Bryan at the Outrun the Bear.
Yep. I bowled with Bryan at the Fournier tournament.
Yeah.
And Dave, 5 balls, no sign of the head pin yet. So hopefully he can clean this up here with a 1-9.
Okay, Bryan had a 9, a 6, and 3 10s, so he left 5 standing.
That's correct.
Dave has left 1 standing so far, plus...
That's going to be 2. So he leads by a pin through 2 boxes. Both bowlers without a mark so far as Norwood conquers all. Has a reputation as a pretty hard house.
Dave, the home bowler, chose lanes 3 and 4. This is where he's had success this year in the ACST. Most notably against his last match against Peter Penny. He had a struggle to get to win that division. He was in a 3-way battle for 2 positions. 2 positions. Just took out Kendrick.
Yep. And glides onto the head pin and punches through. By the time it all settles, he's left with the 3 and the 7, but a nice piece of wood that could help him in the middle there. Oh, he's going to scoop in between, pick up a single one, so they're neck
Safe
and
way
neck.
to miss there.
Yep, neck and neck through 3. I'm looking back and I see Peterson over Sam Ladowdy here in the 18th round. There's Peter Penny against Dave Peterson.
Yeah, okay.
On the pocket finally.
Peter had 1 good half, and he won one of those strings, but Peterson took the rest, and Penny was beside himself. It was, even out of Central, this is a house of pain.
Well, Kendrick should be here then. And he's going to pull that one tight. I'm sure he's going to want it back, leaving the 4 and 8.
Yeah, you're not going to see a lot of 2-pinners. You'll see a lot of 2-pinners separated from, singles and 3 2-pinners. But
there you go. Back on it for the 10. So both bowlers tied through 4 boxes. Again, 5 strings coming up. I'm going to have the points at the bottom, but none of it matters at all. I should probably just change that.
Peterson's the president of the Tuesday Night Bowlers League. That if you haven't heard the news, Norwood is in the process of closing. We think they're going to close their doors for good in July. One of the last matches that we're going to have here. On the head pin.
There we go.
A 9 drop with friendly wood.
Got 1 in front, 1 behind.
That's the 4-pin over there.
Yeah, that second piece of wood is not as helpful as he'd like, so he's going to have to catch that guy. It's out in front on the left. And that is...
He'll get another chance at the 10.
Wow.
But, stubborn pin helped in that respect. That was clearly a channel ball.
The only way that, pins not falling will help you, right? There you go.
That's the difference. 1 pin. Peterson with a pair of 9s and an 8, 2 10s. 46.
Absolutely. So the bowlers are going to have to move their bowling balls across the ball racks here. Guess we should have set this match up on 2 and 3. So Surprise's first crack on lane 4 as Dave is over there talking to himself.
This is what the league used to do back in many years ago. The league was on lanes 1 through 6. It was small. We got moved out to the center.
Yep.
They'll be at Ron's Ice Cream.
There you go.
20th Century Lanes next year at the Tuesday Night Bowlers from Norwood.
Why am I doing that? All right, so Bryan starts out the second half. On the head pin, and unfortunately not able to convert the check mark there as he gets off to the right, leaving the 3 and the 5. Bob's jinxed everybody with 2 pinners. And that's going to be an 8-box.
Friday matinee special, ACST playoff action. This is a 4 versus 5 matchup. Dave Peterson versus Bryan Surprise. There's Dave Peterson carries a 1-pin lead after the first half of the first string. We're bowling 5 total pins is all that matters. Bryan Surprise, his first ball in the 7th.
And we see our first split of the match there as Bryan leaves the 2, 4, 6, 10.
2 pair. Nice try.
Down to 1 pair.
One of the special treatments they give to the lanes here in Norwood is they put oatmeal on the plates. So
Oatmeal?
Make sure that so the pins don't move.
The opposite of the anti-gravity sauce.
Yes. Nice 10 though.
Absolutely.
Still looking for our first mark here. Boom.
And that's a hell of a ride added. There it goes. All right, so let's get to watch that one again, and hopefully I've got my nope, I didn't. I screwed it up. That's typical of me.
The 10 was the last to fall on that one. Had a full head pin it was in the 1-2 pocket. And the right side collapsed last. That was similar, but about a 1/4 inch right.
And he gets punished for hitting the head pin, which is not that uncommon in Candlepin.
Duncan and I were trying to think, how do you describe all these like 2 pair leaves you get? Name them by the front pin, so this would be 2 pair, 4s, and 3s. That might be a quick way to say it.
Anyway, he's looking to pick up at least a pair to help him on his strike here.
That's right. He goes
And he's
goes for the spare. And,
you always want to try to go for the front pins. Ball
except
return
when you're
is
filling
working.
on a strike.
Ball return a
in
little
Norwood.
sluggish here on 4. Yeah,
I think
that is true.
you get to see that those 2 pins that even if you miss, left or right by a few inches there. All right, 7 on the fill though.
Still waiting on balls. I can hear him rattling around.
I think they're gonna have to raise Paul. There
There
it
they
comes up.
Makes you wonder if there's one hanging out.
Well, there are lanes. There's two floors here, and sometimes the maintenance crew just hangs out in the back, watches.
We'll settle for a 9-box, so 89 with 1 to go, and a rather slow start for both bowlers here. See if you can get on track here. And he's tickling the guy out of the back, so that's a 5 drop off the head pin, leaving the 4-horse down the right with the 5 sleeping behind it. And you heard the grunt. Just off his mark, leaves the head pin alone.
So 1 big strike ball from Surprise. Had 1 tough box of 6. The rest 10s and 9s so far, including this one. It's gonna see if you can pick up that head pin.
PJ watching the match, rooting on Mr. Mr. Peterson. Is that a root on Peterson, or is he afraid of Bryan? And Bryan's going to end up with a 10 there.
They had quite a struggle this year.
Absolutely. All right. So the first string for Bryan is done.
1 strike, 99.
Dave's throwing the best ball he's thrown on 3 right now. Unfortunately, it won't count for him. We're just waiting on bowling balls.
So Surprise was measured between 36 and 37 miles an hour on all of his pitches. I'll get a read for you on Dave and his next set. I'm expecting he's going to come in around out of the hand.
I feel you there, PJ.
20, 29. That's my guess.
PJ's saying both.
Huh?
PJ's saying both. He's rooting
for both.
He's rooting for Dave. Partially because he wants Dave to win, but he's afraid of you. Huh? Dave is going to be on the noggin, and he does get the post to fall. So what looked like a 3-1 is now just the left-hand wing.
30 miles an hour out of his hand on that pitch. He usually gets measured in millis around 27 up at the head pin.
Hey, I appreciate that, Dom. Yeah, I'm trying the new scoreboard. I'll get my replay ironed out, so that'll be up there. So now we just got to get these guys throwing a few more marks so I can put it to the test again. Dave a little tight on that one. Leaves the 2-pin. And he doesn't like that 2-pin, so he's going to settle for a $9. As I come over here and type in 9. So as you can see, he's opposed to a $10. He's trailing 44 on the string. And that one's going to stay outside on him and take out the back right triangle. You get to see Dave's unhappy face as he turns around. Don't think he'd like the fact that that ball dropped away on him.
When good shots turn into low pin drops, you start throwing harder, throwing with more spin. You got to avoid that tendency. I've suffered that.
Yep, he cleaned up the backside there, so he's unfortunately looking at just the 1 and the 2, but more importantly, he's looking at trying to get some bowling balls back. And here come a pair of them. They come 2 by 2 here, apparently.
We're getting iced by the machines.
Huh?
We're getting iced by the machines.
Cool on the kickers. All right, let's see if we can pick this up for the 10. That's a good ball. Yep.
All right, 3 10s for Peterson.
Now, PJ, we were talking about you earlier escaping by 1 pin last night in your match against Mr. Finn.
Left the head pin standing. That was that was an interesting choice.
Does that mean we can invite him?
Needed 9, got everything but the head pin on the 3 balls.
Well, Dave's going to guarantee the head pin's gone there, and I think he might regret it there as he's left with a 2-1 off to the right. So he's got the 3, the 4, and the 6. No real great wood to help him, but obviously this is a shooter's play. A little spike. And ooh, almost got away with that one. It looked like the 6-pin might wiggle its way over to the 4, but came up just a bit shy. It's great when you're in a nice close match. I think 1 pin for everything on the line for that is definitely insanely nerve-wracking. All right, Peterson's going to settle down with a 9 box there. So at this point in time, he is trailing by 6 as he was opposed to a strike 7. He's going to want to mark to nut things up here. We'll see what happens. But yeah, close matches. That's
Danny made
just
a couple
awesome.
nice 10s in his last half. He had it was like a high-low jack, but except it was fronted by the 2-pin or the 3-pin. And
Right.
You're thinking his
Split the
pinning
post.
might have done it for him.
Yeah.
Peter had a little bit more.
That's funny.
On it. Both bowlers had a strike in their last 5, and Danny filled with 7 and Peter filled with 9. That was really the difference.
Bryan laughed. He had nightmares about coming back here. And I'm like, hey, look at the bright side. At least this time they're yelling at me and not you. All right. Peterson needing the 1-2. The one came tight on him. Yep. No tickle either. So he's looking at the 1-2 with a brace behind it, questioning his footing and talking to himself. But, you just have to slow it back down, forget that last ball, go right back at it. And he's going to be off the mark. So a 9 box. 83 with 1 to go. Bryan sitting here holding on to a slight advantage in a low-scoring start. I never understood, like, how you choose what lanes you want to bowl on. And Dave's going to be right back at another shot of the same spare, the 1-2-7, staring him in the face again.
What do you mean by that?
Like, which lanes you want to bowl on? Like, it was funny when I bowled against Kyle Hetty earlier this year. He, like, looked up my league stats to find out which lanes I bowled the worst on and chose those lanes. I don't know that I have favorite lanes anywhere.
In Millis, there are a couple that are a little cockeyed. You know, where
there are.
Where there's a 3-pin.
Yeah, like the
jar
racks
to the right
turn a
and
little.
The head pin to the left and on 9.
Yeah. But, you know, I think I can throw. Well,
either way.
Yeah. There we go. All right. So he's out with a 10. And so after 1, it's pretty much right about where you want it to be. Nice and tight. There's only a 6-pin difference between these two guys. Dave had the lowest average in all the C South, yet somehow won the division and got the 4 seed.
Well, that's a Norwood effect.
The Norwood effect. So that's funny because, like I said, when I came back to bowling a couple of years ago, this was actually the house that I started bowling at.
Okay.
So after being off of Candlepin for 10 plus years, my present, I guess, was to come back, and this was the place that I found that was a half hour away from my house. I was averaging about a 112 or so here, just the games that I was bowling. So I just think that shows that I'm just some kind of Neanderthal.
I remember the first time I saw it, I said, my goodness, that's a 115 throw. In rounded numbers.
Yeah.
And then you had a little dip, and then you came flying back this year. 117?
Yeah, I think I finished at 117 in the ACST, which is great because that includes other houses.
Yeah.
Not a lot. We unfortunately, a lot of the South Bowlers are out of Millis.
You looking forward to the A's next year?
If that's what happens, yeah. I mean,
it's based on average. That's what the algorithm makes it pretty clear.
Yeah. I mean, look, if I have to go up to the A's, I have to go up to the A's. It doesn't matter to me. What I love about the ACST is, so many of the matches are really bowlers that are relatively comparable. There's not a lot of blowout
that's why we're
matches.
seeing a lot of these 1-8 upsets, is that there's parity. There is parity among the divisions.
Yep. So it's a lot of fun. It really, I'm really hoping that while Penny goes down there to clean things up, I'll bring up my little hover for now. I really hope we can continue to grow the league. It's just really been a good time. So what you're seeing right here is actually the season stats for both bowlers. So Dave Peterson did finish the season 131 and 121, and despite going 163 and 89, Bryan is actually the visiting bowler because that's just the way that the ACST is aligned. We have 4 divisions of 4 bowlers. The first place finishers in each division, they get the top 4 seeds, and then everybody else battles it out for 5 through 8.
That's right. And this year the divisions are chosen geographically. If you bowl, like there's a Western.
Yeah, you tried to pair them up.
Division.
Yeah. I think that was great.
Cape Cod in the south. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't travel much. I went to CPL once. I went to Timber. I went to Mohegan. I went to Bogey. I think that's it. I don't think I went anywhere else.
You said Central.
Yeah. I enjoyed. I went to Yarmouth. That was a hike. But it's great to see the other houses. I was lucky enough a couple of weeks ago to go up and get a shot at Ron's, covering a match between Payne and Perry. Not Payne and Perry. Payne and Penny. I bowled with Maurice beforehand for a couple of strings. Had a good old time. And it's really nice to see bowlers in different houses and get to go to different houses and throw outside of where you normally do. I think Bryan's going to try to fire away while they're over there fixing lane 4. I'm not quite sure, so we'll just have the scoreboards ready just in case he wants to go.
Well, if you wait for every lane in this house to be fixed, you're going to be here for an awful long time sometimes.
Yeah, it just sounds like something's rattling down there. Bryan's going to start out a little tight. He's going to pull that one into the 4-7 and take out the back left triangle.
This is the house where I was lured into Candlepin in October 2018 as a sub in the Thursday Night League. I was like, wow, I like this sport. I want to play this one. Why am I spending all my time on golf and softball?
I like the sport or I don't like myself. Those are the 2 reasons that people bowl Candlepin. And that one's going to chip around, and he's going to settle for a 9 out of the gates here as he leaves the 2-pin standing. I think that's bad news for lane 4. Okay.
That's the proprietor and Dave have agreed. The home bowler.
There you go. Bryan's back on the head pin. Leaves as I've heard it called by Gouillard, and I'm going to steal it. That is the triangle 3. I think I like that call a lot. And wow. We'll add that to our upcoming video podcast, 101 Ways to Miss a Triangle. He cut the 3-pin in front of the 5. And no better way to do that than to take advantage of the plank behind the pin and kick it forward. Frustrating missed spare. Is it being a jerk to you? I can bring him up if you want. Bob's trying to have some stats to
Just
talk about.
looking at the leaders, I got a kind of shrunken view of it. Yeah.
I can bring him up. Oh, after punching out the back right triangle, he finds himself going through the half Worcester on the left. So, got to play it carefully here for an out. Is any better for you, Bob?
Yeah, it's, so one of the, to your point of Dave having the lower average, lower record.
Yep.
He doesn't appear on the leaders.
He's not in any category?
I was quickly looking up and down.
No, you're right. I do not see him.
You expect to see him maybe in 10s, but no. Bryan surprised, 50% perfect box, was third in the league.
Yep, Bryan is going to be right on the head pin, but unfortunately for him, just not enough drive to get into the second triangle. The 5 and the 8 fall, but he's looking at the 7 and 9. He's got a great piece of wood here to kind of potentially play off of this. We'll see how this goes. Oh, wow.
It's a good idea.
He hit the cap, and unfortunately, that pin just fired away like an arrow off the plate. Second pairing is going to end up with a 9 bucks. Tough break. These lanes can be harsh. They really, really, really can.
Yeah, 33 through 4.
So let me take a look at the stats from the split stats.
Yeah.
We make the leaders for just the south. There he is.
9 drop to the head, to the kingpin. That's a
heck of a way to do
ball.
it. So I only checked the top 5 here because I was really lazy, I guess, when I set these up. So we do see him here for the high single. He had a 150. And Bryan's going to watch that one go by there. A missed opportunity to spare.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So Dave threw a 150. But got knocked out of the top 5 series.
A 10.
Pressure's off.
43
Picks up the
half.
10 bucks. That's a 43 half, absolutely. And we'll get Mr. Peterson to come up and start his setup on lane 3. But yeah, that's really the only top 5 that he had for the south out of that. And let's check. I don't doubt Mr. Karen at all, but that's the regulars. That's the regulars. This is all my bowling reports. Then it's going to be
All right, Dave Peterson's first ball.
Is
The
gonna
second
be
string is on the 3-pin. Leaves 4 horsemen plus the 6 and 10.
He's not wrong. The Norwood effect, absolutely in effect.
Yep.
Funny.
So he finished at 16th in averaging.
Absolutely. Oh, a good bid on cleaning up the mess there. Took out the whole left side. So
It's good. It's a factor, and it's something we have to think about. You know, the rule is your average down to the decimal is going to determine what league you're in the next year.
yep. Well, he's going to settle for an 8 bucks. They're leaving the 6 and the 10 standing. So you should see that my scoreboard's flipped. I try to have it so that the active bowler is on the inside of the score sheet.
Good. But even as Norwood closes, there's still some dramatic differences between houses.
Oh yeah.
And
Dave's going to go the opposite this time.
I bowled here on Tuesdays and in Millis on Wednesdays. Had a 9-pin difference in my average. Dave, similar. He was a 98 here in Norwood and a 106.
It's tough. Like I really want to look at part of the fun of tracking as many of the stats as we've done in the ACST this year is hoping to try to kind of, normalize data based on where people are bowling. But there's obviously a difference in bowler skill, bowler style, frequency at lanes. Is it a one-off? Until you get a decent sample size, it's hard to really
Good choice picking out the
see it. Yep, Dave picks up a pair there.
Yep.
So 17 through 2 as we're still struggling here, and Norwood is doing its job.
Surprise led by 6 coming into this one.
Yep, he's at 32, up 32 at the moment.
Crossed over too far, left to Caleri. With Wood covering the 8-pin. See, Danny Finn made six Caleri and 4 Horsemen.
4 Horsemen?
Different combos. They were like all different variants of the 4 Horsemen.
So what you're saying is he throws a really good second ball.
Yeah, he was completely whiffing on the head pin. That's one thing.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes and no, right? I mean,
Each bowl, I mean, he had strikes too, and he did have a couple splits.
yeah. If certainly there are houses that seem to be more split prone than others, as Dave shaves the head pin out of there for an 8 box. A little groan there, but he does have a 1-pin lead in the string at the moment. Unfortunately, this is when Bryan got pick and plucked the 5 box. But yeah, I mean, Paul, I agree with you. 100 average here is pretty good. I don't know why I had fairly decent luck here. There we go.
There's something.
On the pocket. Everybody but the 7, but that's a heck of a setup.
You cannot blame Norwood if you miss your single pin,
No.
the naked single pin.
That is true.
It's a little, they're
Actually hitting the pin with the ball tends to work here.
Yes.
All right, so let's see if he covers this spare.
Using the guide. He's using too much of the guide, but he.
Wow. All right. Let's not make a liar out of me. Let's see that replay work so we can pick on Dave here as he seems to chip on through and
He hit that right on the edge.
I don't think you want to.
You could have hit that, got in the face and been even
Yeah.
more
All righty, so looking to fill here.
iffy. Oh, that's a nice head pin.
Going to be right on the nose.
Okay.
So spread eagle, less the 3.
Second mark in.
Second mark that we've seen in 2 strings.
Yep.
These lanes are tight.
I was proud. I averaged 2 marks a game here. A full mark less than in Millis.
Yep, that one came a little tight. Took out the 7, so he's got the 2 and the 4, the 6 and the 10, trying to pick up a couple of pins here. He'll have a slight edge in the string, and he'll be close for the match based on what comes out of this. And he Gronk spikes it down for a pair, so the 8 box has him at 48, and it is a 1-pin match at the moment. So, again, trying to be really clear about this, that the only thing that matters is total, the pinfall at the bottom. So it won't come in until the end, but up at the top in the middle there, it says leader red 1, and that's the 1-pin difference that's currently going on in the match. But let's get this out of here as Bryan comes up to finish up the second half of his string on lane 3. Great spin on the ball, so he, what would have possibly been a half Worcester punch on the left-hand side ended up splaying things out. He's left with the 1, the 3, the 7, 9, 10. Ooh.
Nice looking ball, but grabbed a little too much lane on it. Turned left.
You know, hitting single pins is, Candlepin is a game of spares, and Bryan's going to walk his way out of that one with an 8 box. So, obviously hitting single pins, hitting objects, that's really what this game is about. Strikes are nice when they happen, but you certainly don't bank on them. This one is going to get him a Millis 8.
Yeah, nice control ball there.
Right through the 3
Missed
and
the
the
head
6.
pin,
Yep.
but I thought he was pitching a little harder on the previous box.
Oh, and that one's going to come by and take out the 2. So the frustration of the lanes. You know they're tight. You know they're not going to give you a lot. And for wood lanes, they're in excellent shape. And that one's not going to be on the mark either. I think he's looking at the approach, but that's a 9. So 60 with 3 to go.
So, Micah, you know Bryan's Twitch handle?
No.
He's the Rogue Pineapple.
The Rogue Pineapple.
Yeah, it comes. He is originally from Hawaii.
Ah.
And
Well, he lost a bet.
he is.
Oh, all right. That one's going to come tight. Take out the 4-7. Hopefully, he can just put that one behind him in a wall. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
The Rogue Pineapple. I like it. Let's see if we can get back on the mark here. And that one's going to slide out to the other side. I've wondered for a long time, like you see the older lanes and stuff like that, and, especially some of the houses where the first 10 feet of the wooden lanes are, kind of dent and dinged.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll settle for an 8-box, 68 with a pair to go. I've always wondered if there isn't some way that they can't do like synthetic for the first 10 feet or so we can take the abuse and then transition into a wood lane for the rest of it.
If you listen really carefully to the ball rolling down, it is not a glass sound. You know, it's like it's a.
You hear it. Yep.
You hear the rattling, and the ball's not going straight. Sometimes you throw a slow ball,
it'll bounce off the divots. Yep, absolutely. Hits the 6-10 pocket, leaves himself the 1-3-7. He's got a bracer in behind the 1 that might. Well, unfortunately, he's back at the 6-10 pocket.
So the thing, what that can have an effect is that if you're throwing a ball like Bryan does, or right to left, it will slide. It'll skip across sometimes, and other times it'll catch the edges and dig in.
Yep. Yeah. It definitely benefits someone that's got a lower, smoother release. You know, that way you're removing that variable from it by not bouncing as much. All right, 76. Bryan trying to put a mental line in there, and the lanes is helping him out by holding on to his bowling balls for a second before firing them all out at the same time. I spend far too much time thinking about how to build a modern pin setter for this.
I would love to talk to you more about that.
No, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Need mods.
And he's going to finish the half try of the head pin, but he leaves the 4-horse down the left-hand side. So his ball's got a good spin on it. If he can hit this right, this will carry for him. And
there it is.
Absolutely. That was nice, and no doubter.
So 2 marks and 2 strings.
So he's got a fill ball here. Make it count, kid.
He's already pushing me off the lane. What is this?
We're not used to seeing people get an 11th rack here. Right?
That's true.
Guy's over here playing.
What's that? Is that a mark? Wait a minute. What do we do on those?
He's like flipping through the rule book. What do you do? Oh, 3. Okay, if it's a spare, you get 1. If it's a strike, you get the next 2.
So do I push the 1 button now?
But if it's in the 10th box, yeah, you do it right at the end. Okay, this is right.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
a little excitement. Let's get that one going.
Man.
I'm going to get a little happy dance in here on the fill too.
That's what you get for pushing me off the lane, all right?
Big.
There you go.
Struggling through.
That's an understatement.
76 through the first 9, 20 in the last. The 20 box. You just saw it. Second strike. That one a fill ball.
Bryan wants to change this whole setup to actually just be, just having to bowl the 9th and 10th boxes.
Yeah.
Peterson's first ball is going to be off target. I'm going to bring the score sheet over to the side just so I can play around with Dave's stats over here on the other side. So on the season, Dave, for the matches that I got the score sheets for, Dave had 20 strikes, 154 spares, 172 tens. The perfect box percentage was something I think Patrick Kellogg suggested, which is basically a percentage of boxes that resulted either in a strike, a spare, or a 10. And now, since all bowlers have 90 strings, of course that's the case.
And we
Yeah,
saw
settle for an 8
Bryan's
box.
was up around 50,
Yep.
which is
This is really
B
good.
quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you were the leader, one of the leaders in the perfect box for the Bs. I think the ranges in Bs got up to in the 60s.
I think Jim Nestor had 60.
Okay, and then the A's we saw.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
never mind. We don't need to. That was a crossover.
That's okay. We got the replay for you. Just absolutely heavy on the pocket. Actually, it looked like it stayed pretty much right on the nose for Dave. And
I think if you had to count, I think the 2-pin went before the 3-pin. So I call it a crossover.
I always go based on where the ball, what's either, the bowler's arm, the ball. All right, let's see what he can do here with a strike.
And he's got it.
Looking for 2. Definitely on his mark.
So Dave's giving up 6 to 7 miles an hour per pitch, but he's making up for it with accuracy right now.
No, the accuracy will help him right here. He's got a woodless 5-9. And that one's that's a Norwood 9 for you. Punching out the 5-pin, nothing but the 9 left.
Cherry picking any house, but
hey, look, it's
it seems more like that was the natural.
Yeah,
thing
that was
here.
pretty right on it. And that one's going to take a swim. So 84 with a pair to go. And, you know, obviously because of the mark that he had in the first, the mark here, he's got a slight advantage. Coming down to the last 2 boxes.
It's nice that you have the windows on the left. You get this one of the rare occasions where you get sunshine sometimes down on the
Oh, that's true. On the
on
lanes.
the lanes.
He's going to tickle the head pin, and that's not going to help you much here. Oh, he's going to
Oh,
bust.
well, that helps a bit. but
Yeah,
not-
I don't
eh,
know.
not a whole lot.
So
The wood.
I like the slant. You might as well try
okay.
it.
It's okay.
You left with the 3, 5, 9, and then the 7 post over to the left. So, you know, obviously you do want to try to shoot this wood, hit it somewhere on the
You
red
could
line.
also pop that cap. You just miss it.
I
Just
think
play
popping
over
that
it.
cap happens in a place that's got friendlier sidewalls. He's up high.
Oh,
Oh, nice ball, Dave.
Just right of the cap.
What a
Very
conversion.
high
there.
on that wood. Beautiful.
So with that, he's at 94 plus the ball. We might be looking at our first 100 air today.
100 air.
That's right.
Like a millionaire.
That's
Okay.
right. You could take that all for $2 whole. Let's see if you can do it here. Uh-oh. I spoke too soon. He's trying to give it back. So, unfortunately, just a 3 fill. 97. The good news is he has broken 100. One good ball here could definitely send him in the right direction. And that one's going to slide off and take out the right wing. So down the heart for the 1, 2, 5, 9.
For years, Dave Peterson held the high series for 3 strings at 371 here. They had a holiday in Norwood that day.
Oh, and it's going to be an 8 box. So 105 tallies up his second string, but most importantly, slight lead here with 198 over 195. So you see at the top in the center there, the leader has now changed to blue as we get ready for string 3.
As they announced the closure, we've been luring some of the league bowlers Tuesday nights out to other houses, and Millis in particular. And you see the smiles on their faces. These 80, 20-year 82 bowlers start breaking 100.
Oh,
Not every time, but these are people like once every 3 seasons break 100. And they're like, what just happened?
Bryan hit that halfway. He hit that half Worcester so hard he came back with a Canadian accent. So I'm going to call that halfway to Ottawa because deja vu from last night, Bob.
Yes. Right, big out here.
And he's finding the goose holes today. He's going to settle for a 6 box, opening it up.
That's a 5.
No.
There were 4 back there on the left. right?
You sure of that?
Yep.
I thought he got the triangle.
Yep.
Wow.
That was a.
I believe you.
That's what the official score put up, whoever that is.
That is true. There we go. Oh, I spoke too soon. I spoke with the excitement of a pocket hit.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. The 4-7-10. It's got a piece of wood kind of slightly angled back there. He unfortunately came up on it too high. You'd really have wanted to drill that one hanging over the gutter to try to get that to activate. So just the 4-10. Prove me wrong. Yep. All right.
So Bryan with that big 20 box ended up with a 96 in the second.
He just doesn't like it
Dave-
until the box numbers are big.
Came back and total after 2
Total after 2 was 198 to 195.
for Peterson.
Correct. And we have a high-low jack with a lumberyard on the deck. So I would say in most alleys, if he can catch, he needs to hit the head pin kind of full, I think, to really drive that pin behind it. But I'm concerned because it looks like it's got a piece of the cap there. So that might be prone to shooting it straight out. And
Different choice there.
yep, kind of let that one get away from him a bit. Let's see if he can bring it back in. I want to see where that wood goes if he hits that pin, though. Whoop. That might have been good. That might have been able to push that piece of wood that was in the back to get that 10. But it's hard here. It's really hard getting these pins to jump.
Okay, 24 through 3.
This is where the way that I throw the ball helps. Where kind of rolls forward through them. There you go. That's a nice solid drop.
As
4-7 with
as
a plank.
opposed to more of this right to left.
Yeah, like you notice,
turn.
Bryan has he has a great curve on the ball, but you can tell that it's coming around the side of it. And there he goes, taking down the spare. I mean, when they give you the easy ones, you certainly can't pass them up.
Now, since he threw a strike on his spare in the 10th, does that mean that was his 4th mark?
This is. I would definitely.
You would count that strike
Yeah,
in your stats?
Yeah, yeah. A 10th box fill still counts as another mark. You all right?
Uh-oh.
Oh, did you get the ball, the table?
Yep. Tables are back. If you're,
I did that at
if you go
CPL.
back to 15 feet. Yep.
Yep, I did that at CPL. Oh.
CPL, you only have to go back 12 feet to start to hit the table, but yeah. Or Exeter is notorious for that.
That's no fun. And of course, the worst part is, of course, that's his actual bowling hand. But
Good.
get some Millis love out of that
Yeah,
one.
It was a good 8 fill.
Not a head pin, but it is a
7-9
split.
remaining.
It's got the 2 planks there. It looks like this.
You
gotta
have
kinda
a cue shot possibility.
Yeah, up a little high between
yeah.
the two of them. And yep, you were right. It's one of those things when you catch that low, you know you're just not going to get the right direction of the ball off the hit. And he's going to settle with a 9, but hey, look, a 51 half, which is like a 60 half somewhere else, right?
Yeah, it was caught between the
Ish.
Yeah,
corner of my nose.
absolutely. So the unusual head pinless split there to end the half for Bryan. So Dave will come up having to get 48 pins to tie the match back up for his first 5 boxes.
ACSTC action here. If you just joined us, Micah, Imparato, and Bob Lee from Norwood Sports Center on Cottage Street. Norwood Center.
Dave has found this head pin here. He was 3 for 5 in his second half in the last string and starts out with taking down all the walls.
I think the one on the left is touching.
Yep, looks like it's
Kingpin.
right on it.
Yep.
We certainly get a good view from this. Uh-oh. Yeah, you
Not
heard
the
him.
one on the left, is it?
No, you heard him saying, "Oh no," when he let it go. And
Nice.
all right. There's not a
Fancy.
lot of times that you think that you're going to get that without playing the wood, but Dave showed us wrong. Now the question was, is that where he wanted to aim? All right. So up 5 early on, stretching his match lead at that point in time to, what was it, 8? And he's going to enter Drew Steele chop zone, taking out the 2, 4, 8, leaving the 1, 5, everything to the right, and the 7 post. Ooh, not off by
Yeah,
much there.
I would have given 21 odds that he wouldn't make it.
Well, now he's got the high-low jack in a tough house. We'll see what happens here. I think if you get 2, you do a little bit of a celebration. And that's going to find the gap. So tightening back up, 17 through 2. Through the completed boxes, that should be a 6-pin lead in the match. But again, really just kind of focus on the fact that 31 pins is what he needs to tie up Bryan at the half. So that 31 match is the only box on the little score sheet that matters. Drew is going to punch right through the nose there. Gets left with the 4, 7, 9, 10. We can argue about what that wood is like. I think if he come across that 4, he might be able to make something happen, but this is a tough line to get that 10. Yeah. If you want to get in between the 4 and the 7.
Yeah, I don't think the 10 goes unless you get
Oh!
or something to go. Should it?
Wow.
The ball jumped in front of it, and
Tried to get back out of the gutter, but didn't happen. So a good try and a rough break.
and the 7 didn't go either.
No.
Just
Yeah,
in case it had gone. That's a
solid
nice
pin. bowler's side.
Dave's 2 down relative to his box.
Yep.
You know, Bryan at 246 at the half.
Absolutely. But up against
After
an 18.
25.
Up against an 18 here, so he's going to need to get something happening. Or that box will stay red. And
Okay.
the 4-horse down the right. Seemed like he had a little hop on the foul end there. I don't know if he's stuck on the approach. I do remember that about this. The approaches were a little tacky down the end.
And then they get lots and lots of talcum powder from the
Yeah. Bowlers around it, drop around.
head pin stands. So you end up with some very slippery patches and some gummy places.
Yeah.
As well.
Because people like to bring in the nice dripping towels that get on the baby powder that's been dropped on the floor. And
Toward the end of the season, I decided to start bringing maple syrup to put on my shoes. So after Jack or
Make some pancakes.
Mo or one of the guys would throw a whole mess of talcum powder on the lane, I'd syrup them up and say, now it's better.
it's awful.
You don't like it the way I like it? Oh, it's funny. I don't like it the way you like it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Dave.
That was a pretty shot. What happened?
Well, you know, he went from the Nixon and then the 7 and the 10 drop. So now he's looking at the 4-6, and he's got like the classic setup on
Nixon, yeah, 2 inches. Yeah.
That's right.
Victory.
I am not a split. Or I am not a strike, either way. But now he's sitting here. He has to get that ball outside and see if he can use that stick to kick across. But that's going to go through the goalposts. So Bryan's taking over the match here at the midway point. And his lead will be 4.
246, 242. Playoffs.
Playoffs.
Number 4 versus number 5. Dave Peterson, number 4.
Absolutely. And
Brian
again,
Surprise,
if
number
you're
5.
new to the ACST, the only thing that matters in this match is that top number there, the total pinfall.
If
Whoever
you're
has
old to the ACST and you're expecting strings to count, they're not counting today.
No, not today.
All right, that was a fine blast in a split.
Yep. Unfortunately, a little too solid for him. Leaves a 3-1, but it's the 2-4-7 and the 6 without any help out there. It's a good second ball. Takes out the left-hand wing. All right, now just a single pin shot. And a little shy, but the way that he's throwing, I'm kind of guessing that whatever he did bashing his hand isn't bugging him too much.
It's like taking a hit in football. You know, the nerves are activated. The
Yeah, it's tough.
hormones come flying.
Yeah, but depending on how you release in Candlepin, obviously, you know, any of your fingers being a little tweaky can really mess with you. Punching out.
But you know the feeling. Like
Oh, yeah.
When I would say in baseball, where I was catching when something would hit me in the chest, all of a sudden you just got a little more
a
precise.
little bit of a heart jolt. Absolutely.
Started
Brian's-
seeing things better.
Brian's second ball was great at that. Absolutely destroyed the lambda. But again, you know, tougher with older sidewalls or sidewalls that aren't just quite right. Just kind of died when it hit out there and didn't pick up the 610. And that's going to slip on by for an 8 box. So 68 with 3 to go. 8 ahead of his last string, but of course, you know, he dropped 50 pins in the last, or 20 pins in the last box and made things interesting. That one's going to find the same spot, this time taking out the 3, the 5, the 9, and the 4 pin. Flops over to the left.
Nice try there.
Same thing, this time a little heavier on the lambda, but no love getting, well, on the 1-2 pocket, but no love getting it to kick over to the 610. You know, you just can't, when you're bowling in a tough house and the scores aren't where you want them to be, you just can't let it into your mind, you know. An 8 box will have him at 76. 1 box ahead of his last string.
Keep throwing 36-mile-an-hour curveballs into the pocket. Something's going to fall.
Yep. I mean, it just makes it very, it makes it really clear just how narrow the margins are in this game. You know, the difference between a strike and a split, or, you know, a strike and something less than, you know, it's just remarkable how precise you really do have to be to to guarantee things. And that one's going to just slip away from the head pin, leaving the 179. Looks like it's set up at least to take out the 19 pretty cleanly.
So the small balls are obviously a big part of it. The 4.5-inch diameter
Yep.
versus an 8-inch diameter.
I think it might even be larger than that.
8.5-inch for
Yeah.
a 10 pin. But the pins are also they're under 3 inches.
Are they?
At their widest point, the pin is 2 15/16 inches.
What are they? What are they
diameter.
at the you know? So
1
obviously-
3/4 at the bottom.
But so maybe a little above that, about where the ball's gonna. Ooh, he bunny holes the right half Worcester. So just gotta think about a solid out here.
And a 10 pin, the big bottle pin jugs that they throw it are 4.5 inches across. They're as wide,
Right.
they're as big as the ball.
Oh no,
Wow.
that's tough. You know, he went aggressively at it. He went at the right side. If you're looking to get as many pins as possible, I agree. Being in the gap is the way to throw it. But unfortunately,
On the final ball, maybe.
yeah, just
Play the
shaved.
safe ball.
Just
Yeah.
shaved the head pin away there. So unfortunately, just an 87 here in the third. But still holding on to the match for the moment. You know, Drew's going to need to put up.
True, Dave.
Dave is going to have to put up better than 40 here in that. I had a friend in school who was a Drew Peterson. Hey, Casey, thanks for popping
Drew
by, buddy.
Peterson. Oh.
So I had a.
Yep.
It's in my head.
I
But
used to mix him up with Dave Stapleton.
Stapleton.
The old
There
first
you go.
baseman for the Red Sox.
I remember that guy.
That kind of rhymes with his name a little bit.
He's got the un. So Dave's going to miss wide into the 3-6 gap there. But not a bad leave. He's got the head pin in front of the parallel pins behind it. He's got some wood set up here to help it out. So if he can get the noggin pretty good, this might go, but welcome to Norwood. Ooh, wide.
He almost got it
And
that way.
These pins are a little more stubborn than Millis. Otherwise, those
Yeah,
both might have gone on that one,
he
and we'd really
touched them
see a
both,
different
yeah.
smile from him.
Tag, they were all in, but they didn't fall down.
So just the 1 and the 7. Nice piece of wood there if he comes to the left side of the target, but
That's safe.
a little too far to the left side of the target. I don't know if I have it in my mind to play safe on stuff like that.
Well,
Ever. I'm an idiot.
well, miss on the side where you're going to get a pin if
Yeah.
you miss.
Well, no, even then I'll.
That's safe.
Yeah. You know, but if it's like, if I know that in order to take the shot, I'm going to have to be on the right side, I will miss to the
Well,
right.
the interesting twist, if there's a bridge where you can miss both of them. Like, you know,
Yeah,
the-
yeah,
the-
yeah.
like
I'll go right
if There's
through.
a bridge between the wood and the pin.
Yeah.
Do you actually play on the wood side, or do you?
That's true. I will always throw the seeing eyeball there.
Yeah.
Dave, unfortunately, just plunking out the 7 pin. Tries to reset himself here. He's back on the nose. And a little raw, and, you know, you kind of think you might be able to wiggle a pin out of there, but not here. So the 3, 6, 8, and 10, great piece of wood behind the 3 and the 6. So hit the 3-6 bucket.
That's a good ball.
Yep. Absolutely what you'd expect out of that. I almost have to start doing instant replays on 10s because these lanes are being mean. 63. Oop. Oh, I know what's happening.
What's our mark comparison right now? Bryan with 4.
Yep, Bryan with 4, Dave with 3. So
Okay.
both bowlers with a strike. Dave's got a 1 spare lead. Bryan's got a 1 spare lead. Bryan has 8 10s to Dave's 6. I'm like, why is my camera moving? And then I realized he's on the bench. I don't feel so bad. No, don't worry. I was just like, what, am I doing something?
Beauty.
And no love.
The 8 pin is
He gets tapped, but he ain't moving.
shaken, stirred.
Still actually wiggling as I bounce the table. Let's see if you can punch through and get that guy. Big mark here. Let's put the pressure on like golf dog.
I love it.
Oh, just on the mark.
All right, so now it's 4-4.
That is true. Yep.
And we are in the end of the 3rd string.
Well, near it. Near it. He's still got a pair to go here.
We're 90% through for the 2 bowlers.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's see what the fill is here. And that
Okay.
one's
That was a helpful fall at the end, though.
absolutely. So half Worcester turned into a 6-drop with the 1-3-4-7 standing.
Looks like he clipped the 5-pin over into the 9 and 10.
I guess part of the fun of this place where the pins, you know, especially since he doesn't throw super hard. Oh, punches out the 1-3, but the ball doesn't find a way over the 4-7. Because the pins don't really jump around a lot, you know, pins that you hit will oftentimes be able to knock down and spin around and potentially hit other ones.
Yeah, one of the fun pastimes on a Tuesday night is to keep track of how many pins
And that's going
are
to be
taken off of the walls. So you try to measure it, and it could be 3 or 4 a game.
Absolutely.
Everything else is you have to hit it on first intention, you might call it.
Yep.
First time through, and then you blast the head pin into the wall, and it'll come down and flop. Won't even hit the 5-pin. Won't even carry the 5-pin.
Right.
Much less the corner.
Just off the head pin there, he's going to leave himself the 4-horse down the right-hand side.
That's the oatmeal treatment that I was talking about. That does that. They treat the greens, you know, so it's like hitting a sand wedge into a green from 80 yards.
They just need to give him a good cleaning, it looks like, but why bother now? Right? Oh, and he's going to take out the nose. So the cleanup here is going to be the 3-6-10, but he is, at the moment, going to be leading the match by his original 3 plus whatever he does here. And that's 9, so 3 plus 9, last I checked, should be 12. So if I bring this up at the top, we should see a 12-pin blue leader as Dave Peterson is at 294. Bryan surprised at 282. Bryan with 2 strikes, 2 spares, 11 out of 30 on the head pin. Drew with a strike, 3 spares. Dave, 1 strike, 3 spares, 13 head pins out of 30 boxes. It is 12 for you. It's another close match, and we've seen some real close ones here so far.
Bryan surprised with his first pitch in the 4th string now.
Yeah, I have to drop a number in there for it to count. Takes out the 610
there.
Yep. But still, just 12 pins. That's not a lot. Let's see if this guy's going to line up to give him something to shoot for. There you go. All right. It's going to cozy in behind there, so hopefully you can hit the head pin pretty good and let this kind of do its thing. And unfortunately, he's going to wrap up, and that'll be a 7.
Two biggest boxes so far have been the 10th boxes for Bryan Surprise. He threw a 20 box in the 2nd and a 3 box.
Yep.
In the 3rd.
And that one's going to slide a little right, and once again, we're looking at one of those odd mixes there with the 1, 2, 7, 9, 10. This one's a little drier. So, what do you aim? Right for the pocket?
Oh, wow.
Oh, that one's going to slide away on him. Take out the 9 and the 10, which is all right. Now he's got to deal with the 1 and the 2 and the 7. Oh, and he's going to go through the nose. So 15 after his first pair. You know, this is a frustrating sport. This is always a frustrating sport.
You do see some sunshine today, but it's not all sunshine and roses and flowers and unicorns here on a Candlepin Lane.
Yeah. They got one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a second one?
Yeah.
Okay. That would explain.
We got you, buddy. Show me one.
2, 3-step approach.
Ugh. They showed me 2, I guess. And that's the beauty of Candlepin. I mean, you can do that down the heart. You can do it down either side. You can take out the 1-8, 1-9, and
that's the one you think is going to go. It's like hitting a 1-8, though.
Those are tough.
On your head pin.
Those are tough. You know, you throw the ball right where you think it's going to be, and unfortunately, you know, you fail to realize that there's 8 inches between those pins. And that's going to be a tough out there with a 5. So just 20 through 3 is Bryan's struggling out of the gates here in the 4th. You know, if that it's
just. Right. I've seen the TikTok girls squeeze 2 two balls between two pins. So they're set 12 inches apart.
The centers of them are only an inch and a half. Yeah.
12 inches apart. So it's 9 inches, I guess, right?
Yep.
Between them in any direction.
Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Well, the good news is it's not a half Worcester. The bad news is that, my friends, is a 1-5 split. So
I think.
he tries to get it moving, and he does. He manages
Wow.
to pick out the 3 and the 7. So
Good. You see him is not happy.
no. That 1-5s are always they're infuriating. You know, you want to hit the head pin. And I lied. There's no lurker back there, so that's a 7. So that was like a 1-5-8 or a 1-5-9 drop. But those are tough. Like, you know, you have to be able to mentally let that go. You know, once whether it's a 1-5,
Especially if you're on a fill.
1-8. Yeah. I mean,
or a strike fill, especially.
oh no, then you throw the second ball right through the same hole. You know. That was a good ball.
What just happened to me?
That was a good ball. It was kind of running away from the head pin a little, but, you know, took out the 10 pin for him. So triangle 3. And that one's going to slide a little on him and take out the 6. This is hard. This is when it's in your head. You know, you got to fight through that. And, you know, I try to tell everybody all the time. Great pinning out there.
This is
37
the home
half.
team advantage. This is why Peterson won his division with the lowest average in ACSTCs.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I try to tell anybody that bowls Candlepin and they're frustrated or having a difficult time is, you know, never let your last ball screw up your next one. You know, you really have to be able to just flush it out of your head. Otherwise,
Be a goldfish.
yeah, this goldfish is a good way of putting it, because you know, this sport will eat you up. You throw a great ball, you know, you see how often you see someone knock out the 1-8-9 on what looks like a really good pocket ball, you know, and it just doesn't slide, you know, one board one way or the other, you know.
And your body language. So your brain is one thing, but you know, we've learned through the problem-solving abilities of octopuses and other things that it's your whole nervous system that thinks, not just your brain.
Oh, and Dave's going to miss his first head pin there, leaving the 4-horse down the right-hand side.
So one of the things I like is Steve Body does this
Oh,
sort of fist
yeah.
pump after every shot, whether it's a good shot or not.
That makes
then the
sense.
whole body says, "Okay, I'm having, you know, it's okay."
I like to try to do that when I see a ball. Oh,
Just a
I
share.
thought he was going to get in there.
Shave
but off by a sliver, even just a head pin. I try to do the same thing. You know, when my balls are going into my shots, I try to do a little jolt and jump. Not that it makes, I guess at my weight it might make a difference, but. And that's going to slide away. So a 9 box out of the gates. Unfortunately, as Bryan had a pretty raw half, Dave is just going to need 16 pins to start to build the lead again. So 28 behind him for the half, but the one that really matters that we're looking at here is that number above where it says string 4 or 5 at the bottom, where it says match 16 and it's red. That means the red bowler has a 16 pin lead for the match total.
Dave just commented he's killing the 2-pin.
That's true. You just leave the 4-horse down the right, so. And
Oh,
we said it, I think, in the first string. He had 5 balls without, starting out string 5 balls without the head pin. Looks like he's right back where he started, unfortunately, but one good ball here can change all that. The 1, the 4, and the 9. And
oh dear.
wow. Nope.
Okay.
The wood says no.
It's like a land war in Asia in the winter.
Ends up with a 7 box, 16 through 2.
Trying to take a war of attrition.
Inconceivable. It didn't fall. On the nose, hoping for a splash, and you know, he's got 1 out of it.
7 pins. Don't you know? At this point in the game, you want your 8s and 9s.
Yep.
9s and 10s, I guess.
But there
8s
you
and
go.
9s are
Got a nice brace in front of the 4 and the 7 there. Oh no. And those 2 will be no good.
okay.
That is bowler's call, but I'm pretty sure I can read his mind. So best you can get here is an 8 if he picks up this guy.
There's an interpretation of that rule, you know, from Tom Hirsch once in a while that it has to be controversial. Bowler does not get to make the call if there's not a There has to be some doubt before
that
the
is
goal.
that probably makes sense, but I actually think in the rule book it's still bowler's call. So if you really wanted to be that jerk, that's good.
If there's doubt, but at what point do you say, well, how do we know? What is truth?
Good times. All right, so 23 through 3. 3-pin edge in the string.
Back on the head pin.
Oh,
Setback.
I knew that was coming. You calling it.
Down in the gutter goes the sweeper. It's the pin that makes those ones
Somewhat viable.
More than a 2 or 3%er.
For some reason, as a kid, I remember as a kid liking these, and I don't know why. Maybe because I got the wood to come out and bridge the 5 and the 6 more, or whatever. But I've seen so many lately that are like this, where you just know that wood that's there is just not going to help you.
Right.
So my normal shot, especially at a place that has sidewalls at work, is to come inside the 6-pin.
Nope. No, that's in the channel too.
He's up there singing Britney Spears.
It's the
I
soundtrack.
did it again.
I'll take a 7 box. So 30 with 1 to go.
All right, that's 3 sevens.
He's got a streak going on.
And
A couple of
oddly,
splits.
he's going to take the half with an 8.
Yep. Well, he's back to his 5-pin lead for the match, and we'll see what happens here. That one's going to continue his streak of murderizing the 2-pin. Leaves the 4-horse down the right with the 7-post. And this looks like a good
That's
ball.
It's set to
You were saying?
oatmeal. You saw the pin fall down.
I know.
It was moving there, and it just stopped.
Unfortunately, no love. He's got the 7, 10. Good planks in front of either one of them. I'd shoot the 10. That's
Yeah,
why I would shoot the 10. I think I'd seen that happening.
Yes.
So 2 bowlers struggling their way through
38,
an
37.
oatmeal fight here in Norwood. Halves of 37 and 38
Breakfast champions.
respectively. Dave holding on to a 13-pin edge.
Hey, Ryan Preus.
You made it. We can add you in. All you have to do is plug in the XLR. You won't be nutted up in here, but it's been
It's a war of attrition.
fun. Got Bryan Preus here. See if we can get him on the headset. Oh, there we go. Celebrating the quarter Worcester as the through-pin goes. It just yeeted. He absolutely crushed it. Absolutely. It'll probably be the lock part will come down towards you. There we go. Complete the.
Just want to take one behind it for good measure.
Yeah, you were right. I'll get you.
A big out ball coming.
And then you're live, Ryan.
Oh, another one of those.
Wow.
Jeez, just like the 10th in the 3rd.
So that is a 3 box, unfortunately, as the head pin just.
He caught what you want on the spare bit. You want it right there on the spare bit because that's the only chance, or that's the best chance to collect the spare on the half.
That
half
defies all logic. All righty.
I've had the opportunity to bowl against these two, and I mean, honestly, they're great bowlers.
Yeah.
And to see what Norwood's doing right now, Norwood's a tough house, like you guys have been saying. Definitely can bring you down, in my opinion, like a notch or two almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I started out bowling here
I
when I
remember you
came back,
saying that,
and I'm like, the first couple of weeks that I bowled here, I'm like, am I really this bad, having taken 10 years off? And then you just realize, no, the lanes
Right.
are hard, and then I started throwing way better here.
Here's a good spare opportunity.
The way I look at it, too, is if you really want to get good at bowling, start at a tough house.
Yeah.
Like, when I came back to bowling, I started Timberlands.
Yep.
And I remember it opened my eyes right away. And then, obviously, with me moving to Walpole, Millis became more of a better house. And then all of a sudden I was like, wow, I can bowl. But Millis has kind of spoiled me in a way, too.
Oh, just off the head pin there. So needs to pluck up the single pin here for a 10 bucks. I remember seeing your scores at Timber. Union.
Oh, Union. Talk about a house that really can rattle you.
It depended on the lanes there too. There was a
True.
lot of difference.
True.
All right, don't look at the scoreboard. It's not going to be your friend. You know, you gotta realize every ball that you're throwing out here, you just got to do the best that you can with. Because if you start thinking about where your score's at here,
Yeah, this match is still in
Playing the role of the Denver Nuggets.
completely reachable.
For 70.
don't even worry about that scoreboard, man.
Yeah.
Find your ball. Find your ball.
Right, it's another one. This one,
Horse down the left.
36%-ish percentage shot.
That's
Goodbye.
There you
Yeah,
go.
on
See?
the outside.
Don't
If-
listen to us.
I feel
We're a
like
bunch
if
of
you catch it
jerks.
on the outside, you have a better shot. I
I-
think at the four horsemen.
As
Yeah.
long as your ball, I would actually caveat that if you're throwing higher than 32 miles an
Yeah.
hour,
Yeah.
it really doesn't. It
Doesn't work for
It doesn't work with the slow ball.
It doesn't.
It just piles up there.
Oh no!
12s are better than
10s.
33s.
Oh no! I got the wrong. I got a wrong art mark there.
Oh, a toppling pin. Did a little extra work there.
Where's he
I
picking
remember
that up
bowling
from?
against Bryan over in Bellis, and we had such a great match. It came down to literally like what you guys were talking about with Peter and Danny last night. It came down to one pin.
Alrighty, so I'll bring up the stats here, and unfortunately, as it stands, you know, there's just 29 pins. But
You heard it.
he
You heard it
doesn't
there.
suck. Brian's trying to convince himself that, but we don't believe it. He holds on.
Jay just threw a big 38 to take the lead in the first half, and now.
It's.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Brian, I
Micah,
already
you
talked to Danny.
Oh, no,
have
it's
some
okay.
stats to show.
Oh, it's all right. They've come and gone. I'm actually going to see if I can't figure out why I got the wrong artwork in place for him. As Peterson steps up, he's sitting here right now. You know, he needs 29 to tie up the match. He's got $5 to do it, and he's going to take out. And it's not a lemon drop. It's 6-9.
Once again, just I mean, from what
You know,
I'm seeing,
that's what he
still
needs.
winning.
2 pins on every ball, then he would get a 30. Oh, gain 4.
That is not what he wants.
Still got the fifth string too. I mean, still a lot of bowling to go.
That can hurt in the middle of a match. And Dave is going to
Okay.
get away from the head pin there and take a $7, and
That's
you
his
know
4th 7 of the
that-
string.
that is ungood, as some people might say.
That's the ball.
Good ball.
Yeah, we
That's
think.
the leave you get.
Unfortunately,
57.
yep, that's a good old 5-7 split.
There are really 57 spices in Heinz ketchup.
Is that where that comes from?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 57 varieties of sauces you might not want to eat. All right, so I don't know that I like this front piece of wood unless he comes up real high on it. And he's there. Oh!
So
Slid away
high
on him.
He reached the stratosphere.
He reached the pit. I think that's where you got to get this, though. Otherwise, this is just going to tail.
Look at that.
All right, I'm wrong.
Look at that.
Not the
Norwood
first time.
taking it.
Everyone in the room was scared. Was
I was thinking
surprised by
about the
that.
red line too.
Yeah, I would have thought we would want to go high. I was kind of surprised that carried the way that it did, but
Big 10.
absolutely. Every pin matters, so now he's down to just 12 to catch Bryan.
Brian had a spare and 2 10s.
Unfortunately for him, he had that 2 fill.
Nice ball here.
Wow,
Ouch.
that was in the pocket too.
Yep. No love off the sidewalls. He's looking at the 7 and then the 6 and the 10 with a nice plank in front of it. So you might as well take the 2 and see if you can't catch it and send it. But
Well, am I just too used to Norwood to think that that's better than the 3 and 2 leave? I mean, you hit the same ball. It's a very similar ball that leaves you.
yeah,
5
just has a little
pins.
extra driving power.
Yeah. But it's not that.
No, it's a lot harder to
one
clean
that
up.
you jump up and down about usually.
And he's going to miss the 7 pin for a $9. So 64 with a couple to go here.
All right.
It's tough. Like these lanes will just chew you up and spit you out. And you know, should Dave move on, we'll be back with some more pain.
You saw the stats from the match last week with Peter Penny.
Oh, as Dave this time goes to the other two out there with the 4-8. I think I can bring that up.
Yeah, they both bowlers had hot streaks. Peter had one half where he had 4 marks, including a strike on a strike spare strike combo.
Oh,
But he finished with something around 70 in his last game. He was just had that defeated.
yeah, it
Look.
absolutely can evaporate you. Pulling up here to look at it as Dave fires away and
Almost.
gets a
Almost
pair,
got
almost
7.
steals the third. So now with just a box to go, he has a 6-pin lead in the match, plus what he can do here. But yeah, here's the score sheet from that match. And you're right.
Yeah.
Penny had one good half there in the second half of string 4.
He
A really good one, too.
Struggled at the beginning too, and Dave could only afford to lose one string there. And
On the head pin,
Another
he's
great ball.
Norwood was his ally there.
Yeah.
That's my point.
got a
Is
good
it-
mix. Leaves the triangle too.
Like you guys were saying
You have to
earlier,
make an
Norwood
adjustment.
can be that
Yeah.
alley that can really get into your head.
Yep.
And it can start within the first 5 boxes.
Easily.
I remember it happened when I bowled Dave here.
And that one is going to be added to our upcoming vlog of 101 ways to miss a triangle as he takes out the, hey, Maurice, thanks for popping by, buddy. Dave pops out the 4-pin. I really do want to go back through all of my video clips for the year and
Still
pull
a
out
close
101
match,
triangle misses. With an 8 box, that's an 81, so a tough string for both bowlers here. I'd say that they're running out of juice, but I just know this is Norwood warming up.
No.
Yeah.
So a 79 for Bryan and 81 for Dave.
You need we need a fresh application of oatmeal. The oatmeal may be wearing off in the back. This might be time.
Just
I
so you
wanna
know.
bowl after this.
Celebrity bowlers.
I want to bowl after this.
Brian, if you don't know, it's a 14-pin split. Come get him.
Should we ask Danny? Should we sub in for you?
Yeah, 14.
Gonna have to bring up your proxy bowlers.
5th and final.
This is the last string.
This could come down to the last ball,
Yeah, it really could.
just like last night's match between Finn
was
and
crazy.
Janton.
That was
Oh
crazy to
my
watch
goodness,
that.
I was thrilled. I was
No,
absolutely
it's a
thrilled to
great-
be there.
I mean, that's what ACST is, like you guys said earlier too. It's about bowling against, your competition at the level of where you're at.
Yep.
That's what ACST has done for.
How about that
nice
ball?
Go over.
Come on.
Oh,
Wow.
those don't go in many houses. The 6,
Yeah.
the left sides or right sides, whatever you want to call them.
All right. So Brian's off and firing here in the 5th string with a 9 box.
There was a time before Lita repaired its lanes where you got a lot of those. But for some reason, the wood action was all coming forward,
Yeah.
and they take out the head pin. So you miss the head pin, take out
And
take
get
out
left
the,
with some
take
misery.
out the bundle of 5, and you'd make the spare. It's like, oh, okay. There's a beaut.
Good ball.
And
Yep.
That was a great
Yep.
ball.
Good
4-6.
ball. Good ball. Heavy on the nose. That's again. This is sidewalls, right? A
Yeah.
good house with active sidewalls. That probably takes one or the other, if not both.
I feel like Millis lately, when you're hitting the head pin pretty solid, though, you're still getting that type
Yeah.
of.
Millis can be more like a hot knife through butter problem as opposed to the
Yeah, when Millis is fast,
Yeah.
you'll find
split-
a lot of
the splits are-
10-pin leaves.
And I've had
Oh, yeah.
I've even tried to measure it. It's hard to get a controlled measurement, but the split ratios are similar in Millis here. It's the extra pins. It's the the head pin 4s and 5s. And
Yeah.
there's so many ways to hit the head pin well and get and leave
Get hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
5
done
or
it.
6 pins.
Ooh, ooh,
Come
ooh.
on.
Well, he got the wing. I think traditionally you're going to want to be obviously between the 2 and the 4 there, but did a good job of trying to get it active, and
Okay.
he'll punch out a pin there. But
3
27
objects.
through 3.
3 objects, 9 pins. 3 9s. to
Ball
start
with a
here.
broom.
Bryan surprise.
Bring in some curling into Candlepin. There you go. Good mix on the head pin. It's gonna
Oh.
wobble.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Alrighty, they're all together. But I don't like that piece of wood sitting between them.
Neither do I, but he hit it
He
right.
got it.
Perfect.
Wow.
Perfect shot.
Here comes the 2
I would bring up the replay here of him cleaning up the 3-5. I was a
Bryan,
little.
I'm thinking 3.
That's the spirit.
I appreciate it.
I'm thinking 3. I'm going to give you some positive
Plenty of
mojo
ways
here.
to hit the head pin and get
3 or
3.
more.
Oh no.
Good call.
I mean,
No way.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
that wasn't us.
You don't see that.
Next time, go a little higher.
I'm going to. I'm going to call it a 9 next time for you.
Now this is the 1, 3.
He took out the 3-4-5. 2-4-5.
7, 8,
I'm
9,
looking
10.
at that. Like, how?
It's the back row plus the front.
Oh.
Nice shot.
Hey!
Yeah.
That was at the 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Nice ball.
Way to sit on one.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
hate this game.
And that's why we all love
That's a
Candlepin.
Unless you bowl
huge
against me.
spare, though. Absolutely. you needed that. You needed
That's
that
true.
velocity. You
You
needed
do
the
have fun. It gets
accuracy.
me a
Yep.
dating.
And and again, that speaks to the curve that's on the ball too,
I'm
to
calling
put that
9 on
extra
better
bit of
next
energy
time.
into it.
No, that was
So,
a good second ball, though. Good second
Absolutely.
ball.
So 50 plus a ball after
was
a
a hard
half,
setup.
which,
Great ball.
again, these lanes have been really, really rough. So Dave's going to have to step up and make something happen here.
Yeah, but you've been hearing us. Norwood is. This is what Norwood is.
Yeah, that's you got to have a different mindset. As Dave starts out his
Maybe. No.
fifth string.
Got my average up to 101 this year.
I can't remember when I bowled Dave. I don't think I broke 100 on any of my strings.
I could probably pull it up.
It's a national holiday when you break 300 at league.
That's funny.
At least it was.
Let's see.
Well, what were you saying earlier? You were about what?
I'm a 101
pin?
here and a 1. I finished at 111 at Willis.
Wow, so it's almost a 10-pin difference.
Dave finished at 106 and he's a 98 here.
So Dave
Okay, so
spikes
it's
it for an 8.
10-pin difference this place
Yeah.
can give you.
Yep.
Not good bowlers though.
No. Well, how about like when you think of like Holberg though too? Holberg was what, a 4 to 5 pin difference? If I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
It's gotten slower in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
There you go. Dave's on the pocket. Everything but the 6 and the 9. So a woodless 2-pinner. So let's see. Where was Ryan versus Peterson? No, you did. You had a 101 on your 4th string.
Holy crap.
Yeah, okay, that
Surprised
one
I broke
gets
100
away.
here. Jesus.
Dave
So-
held on a bit tight, and yeah,
Yeah,
he's
no, Dave bowled well that day against me.
He's up against 2 marks
did
here.
well.
He's gonna even with the light fill, he's gonna need one mark at least.
that'll be a 9 box. So 17 through 2, he finds himself trying to fight back here. He's got to catch 19 over the next couple of boxes to catch up. But
Lead was 12 pins coming in.
yep.
Yep.
But Bryan also is still sitting on a mark.
Yeah.
And that one's going to take out the left-hand side. So the 1-5, everything to the right, standing up. This was actually where Bryan started to get himself going early on when he racked it and left the 5. Then ran into some splits.
One of the things that people don't know about the Norwood Sports Center is it's built right above. Beautiful bid there. It's built right above a particle accelerator that increases gravity by about 12%.
An old Italian burial ground.
Yeah.
So looking at the 5 and 6 here, obviously you want to take a stick and get out of there. And
All
he
right,
does.
Good pin.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
So no one right here.
absolutely. Trailing by a pin to Bryan for the string, but again, still needing just 10, well, plus a ball to get back on top of the match.
Oh, the match changed now with Bryan's double marks right there. Tremendously.
It did. It did. Of course, you have to wish him much better luck on the field than a 3.
Here's something.
Come on.
Can't see because
Okay.
Dave's
See?
celebrating at the line, but
You got to watch your
I know.
camera shot.
I couldn't. He was there watching it. So everything but the 5-pin. That's the weakness. The tough part about getting up above here is that I have to get
Oh, right.
below
TVs.
the TVs. So I'm lower than I'd like to be for the pin cam.
Yeah, left
Okay,
side
well.
should be good. It
There
is.
it is.
He had
Whether
it's a
there was wood
15-inch
there or
pin.
not,
He
it
had
looked like
he had
Dave
at
was still
least
gonna
7
get it.
and a half inches of target there.
Yep. But you never know if it's going to deflect, especially on a skip lob like that. But he was lucky enough to catch the tape and go through. So, much needed mark as he fires away here in the 5th. That's a good
Beauty.
ball.
Oh, that's absolutely
And it's going to
good
cozy up,
action too.
but not go.
I think the wood is actually good, but you don't want to hit it in the cap.
Yeah, you don't want to come up. You either want to hit the pin or you want to go way low. Like, might as well go all the way over to that right stick.
Yeah, 'cause you want to spin.
Yeah, he did.
There.
He did. He took the cheesy way out.
Really smart. There was a good 21 inches of target to the right,
Yeah.
Yeah,
3 inches of target to the left, and then a little dead zone.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
You're gonna
as
miss
we
that,
stand
like
right
you
now,
did, you want to miss way right.
absolutely. As we stand right now, Dave is at 420 plus a ball. Bryan at 411 plus a ball. And Bryan's ball is going to be a 6.
Okay.
Took out an extra pin there. So the 1, 3, 6, 8 to clean up for a spare to keep this going. 56 at the half. He's going to just get away from the head pin there. Cleans everything up, but
Good.
Good time.
gets a 10 box. So starting out the second half clean. And that one's going to, same thing, take out the left-hand side, 1, 5. Everything down the right. Hoping to put something together here to give Dave something to try to catch up to. And I might have been wrong. Looks like the 5 might have been out of that mess because I don't think I saw it clear out there. So the 1, 9 for the 10. And that'll be an 8. So 74.
3 boxes to go.
Yep.
Here's the situation. This is number 5, Brian Surprise, our wild card leader, against number 4, Dave Peterson, who took his position through the playoffs. Peterson came into this string with a 12-pin lead.
Great ball.
There's a ball.
That's the pocket 4.
Yeah, took out the left lambda.
You see, he's okay.
Shooting at the hay bale. Takes out the 5-9. Don't think he liked the stop on the approach.
Kept himself up. Didn't foul, but not happy with the feeling in his foot or the.
I don't know how I stopped. I really don't.
That's frustrating. You know, I've had my issues with approaches at different houses this year, and you know, it's one of those things that it's super important, you know, to have consistent, reliable approaches across houses. Oh,
Okay.
just off his mark.
Liked it.
82 with a
Especially
pair to
if you're
go.
in the middle of a match or something.
Yeah.
Like what happened at once a month in Millis, they opened up the doors and all of a sudden it got tacky.
Yeah.
And I remember we were all like, "Ooh, what's going on?"
Another
because
cross.
We were literally in our 3rd string.
Right.
And then all of our approaches had to change.
Yep.
At that point, and it can throw you off.
Yep.
For the entire match.
So hay bale on the left here. Bryan right now is sitting at 82 with 2 boxes to go. Unfortunately, at the moment, he's only 13 pins above where Dave is right now while he's sitting on a mark. So it's going to be difficult without a little bit of love here for Bryan late. And he's going to drill out the 5.
He's got one more chance after this for the mark.
He's waiting on his bowling balls.
Is that insult unto injury?
It's, you know, yeah, when you're frustrated.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, especially if you ever have a pace going. I mean, you guys know when you're on a certain pace, and then all of a sudden, whether it be the ball's not coming back, someone else bowling beside you,
Right.
throws you off by say a second, it can throw off the
You should- and
entire string.
it gives you just a little extra time to think about stuff necessarily when you're trying not to think about something too.
Small children eating birthday cake on
That-
your lane. Yeah.
Yep, that'll definitely happen.
Crumbs
20
everywhere.
kids playing
What
the
was?
same arcade
Well,
game,
you
it's the
were
last
covering my
one
match at
played.
CPL when some lady shot a candy bracelet at me while I was bowling.
Wait, what happened? I did not hear this.
I was bowling against Lamoni early in the season, and Bob was covering the match.
Yeah.
There's a
Oh.
baseball. All right,
Baseball.
not
Okay.
done yet.
No.
And you know, there was like a big birthday party going on some of the lanes down towards the end, and you know, some of the parents are like, oh, you know, hopefully the kids don't bother you. But then it was one of the mothers that like somehow launched a candy bracelet at me.
Another big
Come
one.
on.
18
He almost did it at
box.
the end.
Good
All right,
ball.
so the biggest box is today in the 10th from
Absolutely,
Bryan.
a $1.08.
Yeah, 20 in the second, 18 in the final here.
Yep.
He also had that 3
So struggled
in the third.
through some tough pinning out there, and everything else is going on. He's sitting at 469.
Leads
So,
by 39. So Peterson needs 40 to win.
yep,
in the
including
next
his mark
5
ball.
boxes.
So,
Yep.
I mean, it does look good for Dave, but we can jinx him.
Well,
we
he
can
threw a
jinx him and own
38.
it.
I'm not saying
So he threw a 38 in the third,
That
right?
is, that
his
in the
first half?
fourth, his first
Yeah,
half in the fourth was a
his first, yeah.
38. So, yep, it's it's nothing given.
No.
But watch that red number 39 in the middle, because that's the deal
Okay.
breaker right there.
He's happy with a 5.
That's a halfway there.
Yep. Half a rack.
So you see that number drop from 39 to 34 just like that.
Yep.
So 7s are better. And
Good
he's not
carry
going
there.
to catch the head on the way there, but
You
look, 9s are big right now.
that one's sort of like that third ball you throw. You know, you don't really want to get this. You would love the spare,
Right.
But you want pins,
need
if
pins.
you miss.
I don't know that I can put myself in that mindset.
you don't, huh?
I don't. I think if I do that, I just don't throw right.
You would miss. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd miss more on the side where it's safe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but if you're bowling with a lot of people with averages of 62 to 75, that's what you have to teach them.
I guess so. Dave is going to be on the headwind, and he is going to get the reverse triangle. The 4, 5, 8. Not a split.
Talk about a scary setup.
Yeah.
This setup always just, when I look at it, I'm like, I just throw the ball, close my eyes, and just hope for the best.
Do you aim for the outside cap of the
I
wood
like
to the left of the 4
outside
pin?
one to the
Yeah,
left.
It should,
Yeah.
it should sweep.
I,
but
That's what you
I don't
think.
like that piece in the front. I think that.
No.
I think
No.
that's
That-
it's just
That's a
you
tease.
have to helicopter that one way
Right.
around, and that'd be tough. You almost have to cap that. Where I like the left wood.
Looks like he's going right at the heart of it.
all right.
Hey,
pins,
you know,
pins.
in this situation, right, you might as well just aim at the targets.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. That's another 9. So when this hits, we're at 16. It'll be 15 if he picks it up. That's going to be 16 to go. So
But the one thing too, like you guys said earlier, Dave I think has the advantage. This is his house. This is Norwood. We all know Norwood's going to be tough, but Dave knows his house better.
He's
than
used to the.
really any of us.
He's used
used
to
to the abuse.
Yeah.
abuse. Yes.
He is.
Good.
Reminds me of a previous marriage. I was used to the abuse. All right, come on, Dave. And he's not going to make it easy on himself as he takes out the back left triangle. And you can see it there. You know, he's losing this string 78 to 108 with 3 boxes to go, but
No ACST points here today.
doesn't matter. Those are big pins.
Yeah.
7s are better. And it's
Are
an
they?
ugly lead. It is.
16, 17 inches tall.
Is that it? They seem so much bigger.
They bring in the big pins for the late strings.
And wow.
Wow.
Sounded like a good idea. They're just harder to knock down.
Oops, that's not an 8. That's a 9. He managed to get the 10 pin to go with it. So
Okay.
it is now just 7 pins and 2 boxes to tie, 8 to win.
I'd like to see him do it with his eyes closed. There it is.
There it is.
Congratulations.
There it is.
And,
The 10
and
is-
with some mustard.
The 5 is the last to fall on that dispositive strike.
Absolutely.
Dave Peterson will advance.
See now Dave's throwing the ball?
Now, as,
Give it an 8 or better.
as you start looking ahead to matchups, congratulations to Bryan Surprise on a fantastic season. Took really the second highest record in the league, wasn't it? Behind Peter Janton in his division.
Yeah. Dave almost doubled up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Almost doubled up after everything that's been going on.
Get a chance at 500 or no?
I think so. Hang on one second.
There's
Oh.
that'll help.
That was a good shot.
I needed to take the points here. Give him the 1 point for winning.
92. How about it? One more. Yes,
And
500.
You get, yep.
on the nose.
500 to 469. Dave Peterson
And there you have it.
lures his prey, the rogue pineapple, into his dungeon.
The rogue pineapple is now the charred pineapple, or the grilled pineapple. Unfortunately, his season is going to come to an end there, coming on a 469 against
I want to
Dave.
see more Bryan Surprise, though. I hope
Peterson.
we see a lot more.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm moving out to
PJ's
Western
celebrating.
Mass. And, yeah, I guess PJ's going to have Van Heineken in his second round, the way things are, the highest against the lowest seed. They do reseed.
We're all set.
Yeah. So,
Well, thanks,
for
Bob. And thanks, Ryan.
Brian Preus,
Appreciate it.
Micah,
Sure,
Imparato,
guys, let me jump in for a few.
Absolutely.
Candlepin Bowling Network, and the ACST.
I'm going to kick over some replays. There's not a heck of a lot of them here, unfortunately, but we can at least watch these before we get out. And, guys, keep on with the playoffs. You can get all three. If he can hit this right, this will carry for him. And
There it is.
Absolutely. That was nice. And no doubter.
2.
So do I push the 1 button now?
But if it's in the 10th box, yeah, you do it right at the end. Okay. Right. This is right.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Oh, a little excitement. Let's.
For the Bees. I think the ranges in Bees got up to in the 60s.
I think Jim Nestor had 60.
Okay. And then the A's we saw.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Never mind. We're pop that cap. We're just missing.
I think
Play
popping
over.
that cap happens in a place that's got friendlier sidewalls. He's up high.
Oh,
Oh, nice ball, Dave.
Just
He has a great curve on the ball, but you can tell that it's coming around the side of it. And there he goes, taking down the spare. I mean, when they give you the easy ones, you get that guy. Big mark here. Put the pressure on like a golf dog.
I love it.
Oh, just on the mark. Horse down the left.
36%-ish percentage shot.
That's
Goodbye.
There you
Yeah.
go.
On
See?
the outside.
Don't
If-
listen. Righty, they're all together. But I don't like that piece of wood sitting between them. You got it.
Perfect,
Wow.
Perfect shot.
2, 4, 5.
7, 8, 9,
Look
10.
at that. Like, how?
It's the back row plus the front.
Oh,
Nice shot.
Hey!
Yeah.
That was at the 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, left
Okay,
side should be good. It is.
it is.
He had.
Whether
It's a
there was wood
15-inch
there or
pin.
not,
He
it
had.
looked like
He
it
had
was-
might as well go all the way over that right stick.
Like he wanted to spin.
Yeah, he did.
Right there.
He did. He took the
that
cheesy
was
way out.
really smart. There was.
Out here, this
I was bowling against Lamoni early in the season, and Bob was covering the match.
There's a.
Oh.
All right,
ball.
not
Okay.
done yet. There it is.
There it is.
Congratulations.
And,
There it
and,
The 10
and
is-
with some mustard. After everything that's been going on.
Get a chance at 500 or no?
I think so. Hang on 1 second.
There's
Oh.
that'll help.
That was a good shot.